Welcome to Innovations and Breakthroughs with your host, Rich Goldstein, talking about the evolutionary, the revolutionary, the inspiration and the perspiration, and those aha moments that change everything. And now here's your host, Rich Goldstein.
Rich Goldstein here, host of the Innovations and Breakthroughs podcast, where I feature top leaders and the path they took to create change. Past guests include Joe Polish, Roland Frazier, and Kevin Nations. This episode is brought to you by my company, Goldstein Patent Law, where we help you to protect your ideas and products. We've advised and obtained patents for thousands of companies over the past 27 years. So if you're a company that has software, a product, or a design you want protected, go to goldsteinpatentlaw.com, where there are amazing free resources for learning about the patent process. And you could email my team at welcome@goldsteinpc.com to explore if it's a match to work together. You could also check out the book I wrote for the American Bar Association that explains in plain English how patents work. It's called the ABA Consumer Guide to Obtaining a Patent. I have with me here today Kris Dehnert. Kris is the CEO of Dugout Mugs. He helped to grow a simple concept of a beer mug formed from a baseball bat into a worldwide phenomenon. The mugs have been featured in major publications such as Forbes and the Wall Street Journal and more, and on more than 27 TV news segments. They've also made custom mugs for brands like Budweiser, Molson, Coors, Coke, DraftKings, Loan Depot, Sony, the National Baseball Hall of Fame Museum, and many, many more. Their products are sold in all 30 Major League Baseball stadiums, in 50 states, and in 7 countries. They've also raised more than $50,000 through their charity, Cheers to Charity. So it's my pleasure to welcome here today my friend, Kris Dehnert. Welcome, Kris.
Thanks. What's going on? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And so this is really interesting because you didn't come up with the concept for Dugout Mugs, but you were well positioned to help them grow because you've been a guy who's worked with idea people for a long time. So tell me a bit about that and that history that you have.
Yeah, so I'm a huge fan of just knowing what your core competency is, like knowing what you're good at, and then even more importantly, knowing what you're not good at, and spending more time doing the former, right? And for me, it's marketing, it's strategy, it's sales, connection, right? Networking is certainly a strength of mine. So what I like to do is help people do what they're doing better than they're doing it. And when I met Randall, he had a really cool idea. He was a really cool person, which is a huge plus for me. And this was 5 years ago now, but he was a great guy with a great idea. He's ready to go all in, gritty, like I am. And I was like, okay, well, this guy's, tough like me. Maybe we'll give this a run. And I told him, I said, man, you go all in with me. We'll go all in together and we'll take this thing to the top. And fast forward, and we're certainly well on our way. But yeah, it was really more about me seeing some opportunity, seeing the vision a little more clearly than even he could. And then we partnered up, we created a unique structure to that deal. And that way, neither one of us were really at risk. And, hey, the rest is history in the making.
All right, cool. And so just for context, so like what type of sales was he doing 5 years ago when you got involved?
Before I got involved, I think there were $70,000 in sales total for the company.
And at this point,
yeah, we're over 30 million, or right at 30 million, I think. But the first year, it was just him, right? And then we linked up in 2017, and the very first year we worked together, we went to 1.2 in the very first year. So we came out of the gates on fire. We, broke every system that he had in place. Because as a solopreneur, I mean, you don't know what you don't know. And that's most things, honestly, because most people only have one or two real strengths. But when you're trying to do everything, that incorporates all your weaknesses as well. So as soon as I got involved, I realized what his strengths and weaknesses were. I already knew what mine were, certainly. And then we started filling in the gaps. It's like, hey, I'm not good at this and neither are you. So let's find a person that fits this hole. Right. And then we just started strategically building, and the product, we just kept that at the forefront and quality at the forefront. And it's been cool.
Well, that's amazing. So it really underscores the value add when you put two of the right people together, or you create a team that so much more can be accomplished.
You got to have the right butts in the right seats, and there's always a transitional period when you're starting something up. where, it's like chicken and egg. Like we can't afford an employee because we're not making enough money, but we can't make enough money until we outsource this crap I'm doing, and we need an employee to do that. So there's going to be those times that, I'd lie if I said there wasn't, but constantly focusing on building to where you're going versus building to where you are is really a big thing for me. Constantly be putting the things in place that you can grow into, because otherwise you're constantly stalling out.
Yeah, I mean, there's a great analogy, which is kind of a bit funny here. It's for business in terms of like creating a bigger cup or filling your cup. So a lot of times, like, you need to create a bigger cup to then have additional capacity and have those employees and that team in place to be able to then kind of sell your way into that capacity or that revenue.
Right.
But it was interesting in terms of kind of creating that partnership that you did with Randall. You found the right combination of strengths and weaknesses that worked, but you also helped create a certain type of relationship or agreement that fit well with where he was and allowed you to show kind of what you can do. So tell me about like how you created that partnership, how you created created the right partnership and then the right type of agreement.
Well, those are two different things. I think the right partnership and the right relationships and just in general in life, I mean, whether it's business or personal, I mean, relationships, right? I think the more clear you are on who you are and what drives you and who you're not and what you stand for and what you won't stand for, becoming really in tune with yourself allows you to have the right type of people gravitate towards you, right? So for me, I have a certain set of rules. Do I like the person? Do I like the deal? Is it scalable? Does it take away from my time with my family? Is it experiential, right? Like I have my own set of metrics. And money's in there, but it's not at the top. Hell, it's probably not even in the top 5. And because if it meets all these other markers, money shows up, I believe. And so to find the right partner, I think the first step is really understanding as deeply as you can who you are and what you need. And then the second part of it is, I like to say sometimes that creating a win-win situation doesn't have to use the same currency. And what I mean by that is like what he needed and what I needed were different things. So putting a deal together that allowed him to, I own 40% of the company and I got it with no money down. And that's not a deal that somebody's typically going to take. You slide in and say, hey, I'm pretty good at what I do. How about you give me half of your shit and I'll make it pop? Doesn't really go too far, that conversation, but he needed to feel safe and protected on allowing equity from his baby to go somewhere. And I needed him to trust in my abilities. I needed control of a lot of things, right? So we kind of looked at what each one of us needed, and we put together something that was performance-based with a finite amount of time. So within 6 months, we're going to, 10x the company. And for every $100,000 in sales we achieve, it equates to 8% equity earnout. So by the time we get to where we got, it's worth 10 times more than it was in the beginning, and he gave up 40%. So you created a win-win situation that was performance-based. Everybody put their money where their mouth is. And it just worked out really, really well.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So it's like you were able to come in there and make a difference and then kind of earn your piece out of the difference that you made.
Yeah, I knew what I could do. I knew what I could do, and I did it. Right, yeah. Like it's not my first time, right? And I knew all the right people to call in my network, and I knew a lot of these things. So when I evaluated the deal, I felt confident putting that kind of statement behind it. because I knew what was possible. And at that point, I mean, on the other side, how do you say no to that? In making deals in general and finding partners in general, it's like you really need to understand where the other person is coming from.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the most crucial things. And then you kind of reverse engineer it from there.
Yeah, absolutely. And then just in terms of that, from the other side, say from Randall's side, so so what was important for him was to create an opportunity for you. Like he had to have his opportunity presented and aligned and clear in a way that you can see, well, this is worth my time to get involved, and have it be on the basis of what I could do and how well I perform. So it's like the two sides of it is like, as an innovator, as a person with ideas, it's so important for you to create that value so that the strategic partner can see like, yeah, this is a good opportunity for me. And just going to the other thing you said in terms of knowing what's important to you and knowing yourself and your values. So it's extremely important for them too, to be clear about their values. So be clear about the person that they're getting to partner with that is aligned with them and what their focus is. If they're strictly about making money, then they might not be as well aligned with someone who wants to, does like money, but wants to make a difference and likes to contribute to the world too, and likes to have perhaps a charitable aspect to what they do. So it's like you have to kind of
it comes down to asking better questions. It comes down to asking better questions.
Yeah.
At the beginning, ask better questions and then shut up and listen. That's that latter part people tend to forget. Ask the right questions and then really give it the attention that answer deserves. And you'll find out a lot about that person, right? And I think as you get older, you realize, and more mature in business in particular, you'll realize, that your no's are more important than your yeses. And if you ask the right questions, you can quickly identify what deal and opportunity and potential partners are no.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, without the no's, then there's no real yes.
Yeah, and sometimes there's no room for the yes, the real one, because you're constantly chasing rabbit holes. Just you're so busy being busy that you're not paying attention when the right kind of opportunity comes by. Yep,
absolutely. Let's talk about IP. So what role has IP played in your strategy for growing Dugout Mugs?
Honestly, it's more of a deterrent than anything, because patent law, if you know how to manipulate it, which some do, some don't, most don't. But if you know how to manipulate it, most patents are able to be circumvented. So for us, it's really been more just a deterrent. Our real, a little bit of a marketing play on it, leveraging the original Dugout mug and yada yada. But
yeah, so the branding too, like you've been building.
Yeah, it contributes to branding for sure. One of our new products, we actually have a utility patent on the lid, and we own a few trademarks. Because Dugout mug is synonymous with bat mug. We are literally the best in the entire world at what we do. So now when people see the brand, which is trademarked, right? They see the brand and they're like, that's a quality product right there. I saw that on the governor's desk. I've seen that, you know what I mean?
Yep.
It's a synonymous with quality, which is what we've aimed to do. But the patents, design patents, how, fragile those things can be. So really for us, it was a deterrent, which gave us enough of a head start and enough of a shield to just blow past everybody. And we've sued a handful of people and easily won. I think that what's interesting now is trade dress, the amount of products that we have in the market, the amount of customers, the amount of distribution. We're really getting to a point now where we can enforce trade dress too. And that's powerful.
Yep, absolutely. And so, and that's, trade dress is closely related to trademarks. And I think that's the point though, is that your focus or your strategy has been like, yeah, we'll put a little bit of attention on patents, but really it's about building our brand, building kind of the way that we're recognized, and the type of things that would confuse consumers into thinking they're dealing with us. And that's all what, so your strategy has really been focused more towards trademarks, essentially.
Yeah. And branding as a whole. I mean, we spent the first 5 years of this business. I mean, we have 30,000 5-star reviews online. That's nuts. I mean, some of the biggest companies out there don't have that. And we focused hard on building the brand, building the community, building the culture, building, our name in the baseball space and beyond. And now that we've done that, we're starting to hand it off to other major players in their vertical, Fanatics, Dick's Sporting Goods, right. Pro Image Sports, things like that. And we're letting other people run with our baby now. At first it could be fragile. Someone could try to slide in and it cause issues. Well, now we spent the first 5 years building a brand that really is, people can dent us, but they can't break us now. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we're going to focus on mass scale. Our whole premise the entire time is focus on winning versus focus on not losing. And we're just going to keep winning and focusing on it. There's plenty to focus on if we want to go chase down the little guy who's trying to rip us off. They're not going to make it anyway. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the branding that you created, people want to deal with the real thing. They want to deal with.
We're the real deal.
Yeah, exactly.
They always find their way home.
Yeah. And so now your focus is on taking what you've built there in terms of the brand, in terms of the reputation, and seeking new channels of distribution where, again, it's strategic partnerships. It's people that can grow the brand, handle the marketing and sales of it, and you focus on continuing to manufacture the quality product.
Right. We've figured out that, I mean, my core competency has always been sales and growth and strategy and things like that. But I'm shifting my mind a little bit more into the valuation side of the business, potential exit. So Randall and we're always we've built this to sell it, right? It is really what it comes down to. And we'll make the decision if we want to or not, supposing the right partner or acquisition partner comes along. But I'm shifting my mind over into that side. I'm focusing on some bigger deals, big collaborative stuff. I'm working with a lot of the MLB players and things. I'm not as much into the e-com side. And that whole side of the business, e-commerce, has seen some significant blows as of late with, all the changes on Facebook and stuff like that, where everybody's spending their pay-to-play dollars. So we're going to let the Fanatics and the Dicks and the Bed Bath and Beyonds and the, Touch of Moderns and Zulilies and QVCs and people like that have established networks, and even strategic partners that have large lists in the sports space. We found a lot of success in the wedding industry, the gifting industry. 5th anniversary is wood. Everyone's looking for a cool groomsman gift. So there's a lot of these pockets of people that have, not huge list, but maybe 50,000, 100,000 of buyers, and things have dried up for them, whether it be supply chain or paid traffic or whatever that looks like. So it's kind of dying on the vine. So we're actually being able to throw those folks a lifeline right now, because we have hundreds of thousands of mugs in stock in Florida, right? Because we're a print on demand. It's not shipped in from, who the hell knows where. We got it ready to go. So if these people want to do some quick promotional stuff, the collaborations have really been cool. We've been able to work with a handful of different companies to put this product into the market, into new markets.
Oh, that's great. And so you open to, and you're looking for affiliate deals too.
Yeah, I'd entertain that if it's the right demographic. There's some room in our products where everybody could usually walk away pretty happy. Yeah. Yeah,
it's a fantastic product. And I mean,
it really is.
We're happy. 30,000 5-star reviews. I mean, that's unheard of.
Right.
So it just shows how satisfied people are with it. It's a great concept. It's a great product. And you've done a fantastic job growing this company.
Thank you. Yeah. We're giving it hell. We're doing our best.
Yeah, absolutely. Any advice for people with ideas? Because I know you've done a good amount of consulting for people that are looking to take an idea and grow it into something bigger. So any particular advice you would have for people in that situation?
Yeah. So my background from the consulting side of things with my company, Dehnert Media, it's been more about strategy, which path to take, marketing, outside the box marketing, especially gamification, all the sales ends of it typically. And a lot of times it is very unique products that do that because they're disruptors. And what I would say is that there's an old saying, don't fall in love with potential, right? Which sounds counterintuitive to what I was just saying, but sometimes people will just smother an idea and let it just consume them versus get it. You don't have to get it right. Get into the market, get some feedback, make adjustments, go back. What do you guys think? Ask questions, poll, get data groups. And, you gotta make sure that what you're offering is something people actually need and want. It might have solved a single problem for you in a quirky situation, but that doesn't mean it's applicable to the entire world. And what is scale and success? And I think, again, let's go all the way back to knowing yourself more. What does success look like? Is it, I'm going to bring in $70,000 a year and work from home and spend all my time with my kids, and I can do this at night and on the weekends a little bit, and it provides that? If that's success, well, then that's a different path than making an international brand for exit or going public, right? Like there's very different paths to things. And I think the easiest way I've ever explained it to somebody is, don't judge your success by somebody else's ruler, meaning know what it looks like, feels like, sounds like, tastes like to you, and then build that. And sometimes it is gaining partners, you got to get capital, you got to raise some things, and that's okay. Right. But sometimes it's somebody who's just tired of the damn rat race. They want to make $100,000 a year and they want to do it from home so they don't miss Billy growing up. I mean, that could be success to somebody. And I think your product, because some products aren't scalable, but they're really cool in niche markets. And maybe you can go to a trade show or two every month and sell enough to achieve that. Do you know what I mean? Like that's a completely different market and market strategy. And you don't have to go national, international to achieve that. So I think understanding what you want the outcome to be will certainly determine the path in which to get there. That's number one. Now the idea in and of itself, ask the right questions, get it in front of it, and understand your target demographic. Most people would look at my product and like, oh, that's cool for a bunch of guys who drink beer. Well, our average customer is like a lady in her mid 40s, right? We know that because we looked at data. So understanding, so now our products, when we market them, we use middle-aged women in a lot of our advertising, right? If it's a shot glass made out of a baseball bat handle, we do younger guys at a tailgate in our marketing, right? So it's also really understanding your demographic, and is it possible to serve that demographic? And are they going to be interested in what you want, what you actually have? So, I mean, there's a few thoughts there, of course.
Yeah. So it's, I mean, it sounds like it's a mix of validating your idea, validating your hunches of what you think people might want by actually going out there and getting some real data about what they want and who is the customer that wants it. And also it's just further emphasis on understanding yourself and what you're looking for personally, and then visualizing a path where this idea or pursuing this venture might fit into what you actually want. And
yeah,
that's
well,
what
like we're all on a different path. And here's the reality. None of us are getting out of here alive. And you really need to know what you're doing, why you're doing it. And then the business or a product or even money, it's all just a means to an end. You know, it's the fulfillment is really big in there. You know, not a lot of people put fulfillment on that checklist, but I think the more in tune you get with yourself, you realize that this is just a means to an end. It's a sickness sometimes, entrepreneurship, where people just got to get more and got to do more and got to do more. Well, do you? You know what I mean? That you got to know where you're going. And I think it'll help you really put a clear, attainable path together. Hell, you might want to go to like level 10, but your product's only gonna get you to level 3. Well, guess what, friend? You ain't got the right product, right? If again, it's really, really trying to lay that out. And then to the first part, what you were talking about is go get validation. Well, there's something that a lot of people need to remember, especially with products. And this is this conversation I had with Randall at the very beginning. It doesn't matter what you think. You're not the buyer. You're already partial to the product. And if you're smart and a good salesman, you'll sell yourself on all kinds of stupid ideas. So it really doesn't matter what you think. It matters what you know. And the only thing you can know are facts. And the only way you can get facts is by asking the right questions. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
And that is part of really figuring, and don't be afraid to take the Kevin O'Leary, take the dog out back and shoot it. It's okay. But you won't get to that realization until you start getting real facts and remember that it's not what you think, it's what you know, and what you know comes from data.
Yeah. And by the way, on that notion, I think you talk about it, it's okay to take the dog out in the back and shoot. A terrible metaphor, but I get the concept. Is that
I'm a dog guy, so I agree with you, but you get the idea.
Yes, but the idea or the issue that comes up there for people is they have an idea, they fall in love with their idea, and then they believe that if I lost this idea, if I had to take it out in the back and shoot it, there wouldn't be another idea that comes along. So I need to hold on to this because there's like a scarcity around ideas, a belief that I'll never have another good idea. Whereas sometimes if you let it go, that creates room for the new thing to come on in. And
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you're holding it so tight, your eyes are closed and you can't see all the other things that are coming by. There might be a slight iteration of this that would have made it the perfect idea, but people are, they're convinced, right? And they fall in love. I mean, we've all been, for the most part, in a bad relationship. And after that thing's over, you're like, God, thanks for that. I mean, I wish I would have done that a year ago, right. Kind of thing. And business and ideas are no different. You could have a bad relationship with this damn thing and you don't know until it's over. And you're like, wow, she was ugly. I got this much prettier idea now. Let's run with this one. And hey, it's actually almost the same thing, except a couple upgrades to it. And yeah, so you got to just look at things from a few different perspectives. And sometimes you can't. And that's why having good counsel around you is important.
And yes, and getting to know yourself is the key to not finding yourself in a dysfunctional relationship with an idea.
Yeah.
is you know what you want, and then you know if that fits, and if not, next. So
yeah.
Kris, this was awesome. I really appreciate you taking the time. And people want to learn more about you or get in touch with you. How do they go about doing so?
Yeah, I'm pretty easy to get a hold of. LinkedIn. I spent a lot of time on LinkedIn. I got rid of Facebook 7 years ago, and it's been just a blessing. A lot of time got chewed up over there. My Instagram's private, so that's really just a handful of friends. But LinkedIn's a good one. And of course, dugoutmugs.com. You got to go there. Dugout's on all the social channels, and we do all kinds of fun stuff with like giveaways. And I think I even commentated Game 3 of the World Series with Pete Rose, a couple of years ago. We're always doing fun stuff and cool videos and cool content and fun giveaways. So I encourage everybody to check out Dugout Mugs if you want to see how we can, we've committed now with Dugout to run a multi-million-dollar company and be the same exact guys and carry the same exact culture that we did from the beginning. So if you want to see what that we call it being unapologetically authentic. And everything you see, everything you hear, it is what it is. There's no facade here. And I think that's really well received with our tribe. So come take a look, be a fly on the wall, and be loud if you want to. Chime in. We're always chatting with people.
Awesome. That sounds great. And Kris, thanks again for being here.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me. You guys take it easy.
Thanks for listening to Innovations and Breakthroughs with your host, Rich Goldstein. Be sure to click subscribe, check us out on the web at innovationsandbreakthroughs.com, and we'll see you next time.